In this episode, Golden and I discuss Love, Death, and Robots, Season 3. Full speed ahead.
The Omega Beam. Full power. The Omega Beam.
Welcome to the Omega Beam number 188. I'm your host, Oren Merton. We've got a spoiler-free discussion for you of the Netflix animated anthology series, Love, Death, and Robots, now in its third season. Our discussion is short, which is appropriate because each episode is short. So let's get to it. I am here with Golden to talk about Love, Death, and Robots, Season 3. This is a series of short cartoons.
Yeah, some shorter than others.
Yeah, some are less than 10 minutes, and I think the longest might have been 20.
I don't remember exactly.
It's an anthology series, some based on short stories written by science fiction writers, others original, and it's on its third season.
Yeah, no, it's fun, it's quick. Depending on what it is, the animation style changes.
Yes, which is one of the...
So you might have really realistic 3D, like you do in the very first one, which is 3 robots exit strategies.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going through Earth after everyone has died. And how these people died. Oh, well, let's go look how these people thought they were going to survive. Oh, these people thought they were going to survive this way? So it's very entertaining.
That one particularly, the 3 robots exit strategy. So the 3 robots is from one of my favorite science fiction authors named John Scalzi. And some of these are very dark. Some of these are very gory, kind of action horror. John Scalzi is all about wit and humor, and he has something to say without moralizing, without being in your face. He manages to get his point across about what we're doing to our world through humor and raunchy robots.
And how people think they're going to survive.
Yeah. And it's a very, very fun. And there are others that are just like sheer horror. I mean, there was one of the final ones was basically a Cthulhu story. And it was like 3D rendered
In vaulted halls entombed.
Yeah, and it was like In the Mountain of Madness, by H.P. Lovecraft or something. It was a Lovecraftian Cthulhu type of story, and couldn't have been further from episode 1, but also really engaging. I think in many ways, and I may have said this already in the Love, Death, and Robots previous seasons, but if you ever read the heavy metal comic, or if you saw the 1980s heavy metal anthology sci-fi animated movie, this is kind of along those lines of individual sci-fi vignettes that aren't necessarily related, but, they've got the mature audience level of gore, sex, language.
I mean, well, that's how the Night of the Many Dead starts.
Right. So it was definitely not for kids. But if you like this, if you like that kind of stuff, if it sounds interesting, I mean, each of them are very well done.
If you don't like one of them, it doesn't mean that you're not going to like the next one.
Right. That's the nice thing about anthology series is that if you find one, if the description of one sounds too gory, you can just watch another one, and it's not like you missed anything because they're all different stories.
Yeah.
It's not a long watch. I mean, there were only, I want to say 9 episodes, less than 10. There were 9 episodes. None of them are very long. I mean, the whole thing is a short watch. We watched it over a few days, watching, 2 or 3 a day. And it was just fun.
Yeah, you could watch them all in one evening, you could
easily
watch one a night.
Yeah.
Just, I'm not sure what to watch. Okay, I'll watch one of these.
Yeah, exactly. So if this sounds like the kind of thing, if you watched the previous ones, this is along those lines, and the stories are as good as the other ones were, and they're all unique and interesting. So you'll like it. If you haven't watched any of the seasons yet, if it sounds interesting to you, if Little Short,
I'll go back and watch them.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, because it's an anthology, seasons 1, 2, and 3 don't really mean much because it's not a single story. They're just collecting
But
them.
they're also a lot of fun.
Yeah, all of them. And they're all along the same lines. I mean, there's no story that's repeated. So just scroll through them on Netflix. And if a story sounds interesting, it's only going to be 7 to 17 minutes. It's not going to take a ton of your time. So give it a watch. I mean, these are really good. And they're, the main producer on this is David Fincher, who's done some pretty major movies that have gotten some pretty good reviews, like Social Network. And I think, what was the one after that? I think he did the American version of Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Okay.
And he's done other things, so I mean, the person who's putting this together and kind of the overall executive producer of the thing, I mean, he's obviously someone has a proven track record of quality.
Yeah, the only thing that I would say is, your one negative probably about Love, Death, and Robot.
Gore.
Yep, is the gore.
Cartoon gore doesn't bother me as much as
It looks
live
kind
action
of
gore.
gore.
Yeah, the more, I was going to say, the irony is that
I think that you probably had the hardest time with Mason's Rats.
yeah, it's like the more photoreal the animation gets, the less animation-y the gore looks. And so that doesn't work as well for me, who, seeing drawn, splashy, animated gore when it's so obviously just a drawing on a page, on a cell, that's fine. But, once it starts looking photoreal, I start not being as easy to just turn it off. But other than that, I have no complaints.
Yeah, and this was a spoiler-free
It was.
Love, Death, and Robots. And
Yeah,
we're going to keep it spoiler-free because they're short. We don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah, they're short, so we'd pretty much walk you through every single episode. But also, because it's not a serial, it's not like there's really an overarching story to give away. So, yeah, check it out. Thank you, Golden.
Enjoy.
And that's it for this episode. You can find the show notes at theomegabeam.com/188. If you liked this episode, please leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts. Your reviews help people who like this stuff find our podcast. If you have any comments or suggestions, please drop us a line at info@theomegabeam.com. Be good to yourselves and each other, and we'll catch you next time.
The Omega Beam. Full stop.